Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into something incredibly powerful. Building your very first progressive web app, or PWA, using Next.js. If you've ever wanted your web app to feel like a native app, capable of sending push notifications and working offline, then you're in the right place. We'll break it down step by step, making it super easy to follow, even if you're just getting started. By the end of this video, you'll have a solid foundation to transform your Next.js projects into amazing PWAs that will seriously impress your users. So, grab your favorite drink, open up your code editor, and let's get building. First things first, what exactly is AP? Think of it as the best of both worlds. It's a website built with web technologies like CSS and JavaScript, but it behaves and feels like a native app you'd download from an app store. Users can add it to their home screen. It can load instantly even on flaky networks, and it can re-engage users with push notifications. For developers, this means you write one code base that works across all platforms, saving a ton of time and resources. And for users, it means a faster, more reliably, and more engaging experience. It's a win-win. Next.js, with its powerful features, is the perfect framework for building these next-generation web applications. Let's kick things off with the very first component of any PWA, the web app manifest. This is a simple JSON file, usually named manifest. JSON or manifest, web manifest, and it's like your app's ID card for the browser. It tells the browser crucial information about your app, like its name, a short description, the icons to use for the home screen, the theme color, and the start URL. Creating this file is our first step toward making our app. You'll specify different icon sizes so it looks sharp on various devices, from a small phone screen to a large tablet. You'll also set a display mode, like standalone, to make it open in its own window without the browser's UI, giving it that true app-like feel. Once you've created this file, you simply link to it in the head of your main layout file in Next.js. It's a small file, but it has a huge impact on the user experience. Now that our app has an identity, let's talk about one of the most powerful features of PWAs: push notifications. This is a game changer for user engagement. Imagine being able to send a timely update to your users, even when they don't have your app open. This could be a notification about a new message, a special offer, or fresh content. To implement this, we'll need two main pieces: the Push API and the Notification API. The Push API handles receiving messages from a server, while the Notification API is what actually displays the information to the user. We'll need to set up a process to ask the user for permission to send them notifications. It's crucial to do this at the right moment. Don't just bombard them with a permission prompt on their first visit. Maybe ask after they've completed a meaningful action. Once they grant permission, we get a unique subscription object that we can send to our server. This object is the key to sending targeted push messages back to that specific user. And speaking of building things with Next.js, the latest versions, especially Next.js, are making PWA development smoother than ever. The Next.js team is continuously improving the framework to better support modern web capabilities, with features like improved caching strategies and optimizations within the React Server Components model. Building high-performance PWAs becomes much more streamlined. For instance, the app router in Next.js provides a great structure for managing different parts of your application, which aligns perfectly with how you'd architect a PWA. We can leverage server-side rendering for that initial fast load, and then rely on client-side navigation and service workers for the app-like experience afterward. We'll be using the app router throughout this tutorial, and you'll see how intuitive it is to integrate PWA features into this modern Next.js structure. The ecosystem around Next.js is also fantastic, with libraries and packages that simplify PWA setup, which we'll explore. The absolute heart and soul of a PWA is the service worker. This is a special type of JavaScript file that runs in the background, separate from your web page. It acts like a proxy between your app, the browser, and the network. Its most important job is to handle caching. By intelligently caching your app's assets, the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and images, the service worker can make your app load instantly on repeat visits. Even more impressively, It can enable offline functionality. If the user loses their network connection, the service worker can serve the cached files, allowing the user to continue browsing parts of your app. This is what provides that reliable, always-on experience. Configuring a service worker involves defining caching strategies, like cache first for static assets or network first for dynamic content that changes frequently. We'll write a basic service worker file and register it in our application, giving our PWA its superpowers. Now, let's discuss an important concept: progressive enhancement. This is the philosophy that our app should work for every user, regardless of their browser or device capabilities. The progressive in PWA comes from this idea. We start with a solid, functional base website that works everywhere. Then, we progressively add advanced features like offline support and push notifications for browsers that support them. A user with an older browser can still use your site perfectly fine. They just won't get the PWA-specific enhancements. A user with a modern browser gets the full, enriched experience. This approach ensures maximum compatibility and accessibility. It asks about being inclusive and not locking users out just because their technology is the latest and greatest. Next.js is inherently good for this, as it renders a functional HTML page on the server, which is a great starting point for any user. Once we've put all the pieces together, the manifest, the push notification logic, and the service worker how, do we know if we've done it right? This is where Lighthouse comes in. Lighthouse is an open-source automated tool built right into Chrome DevTools that audits your web pages for performance, accessibility, best practices, SEO, and, most importantly for us, PWA compliance. Running a Lighthouse audit is super simple. You just open DevTools, go to the Lighthouse tab, check the Progressive Web App category, and click Analyze Page Load. It will then run a series of checks against a standard PWA checklist. It will verify if your app is served over HTTPS, has a manifest file with the right properties, registers a service worker that works offline, and more. It provides a detailed report, highlighting what you've done correctly and giving you specific, actionable feedback on what needs to be fixed. It's an essential tool for debugging and validating your PWA. So, let's recap our game plan. We'll start by creating a new Next.js 15 project. Then, we'll craft our web app manifest to make our app After that, we'll dive into the core of PWA functionality by setting up a service worker for caching and offline support. We'll explore different caching strategies to make our app fast and reliable. Next, we'll implement the logic for asking for user permission and handling push notifications to boost engagement. Throughout the process, we'll keep the principle of progressive enhancement in mind, ensuring a great experience for everyone. And finally, we'll use Lighthouse audits to test and perfect our PWA, making sure it meets all the requirements for a top-tier web application. It might sound like a lot, but we'll go through it one step at a time, and you'll see how these concepts fit together beautifully within the Next.js framework. All right, enough talk. Let's get our hands dirty with some code. Let's start by creating the manifest. JSON file in the public directory of our Next.js project. We'll define the name, short_name, icons, start_URL, display, and theme_color. We'll then link this manifest in our root layout, JS file. Next up, the service worker. There are some great libraries like next-pwa that can automate a lot of the boilerplate. But for learning purposes, we'll write a basic one from scratch to really understand what's happening. We'll register this service worker and listen for the install and fetch events. In the install event, we'll cache our core app shell files. In the fetch event, we'll intercept network requests and decide whether to serve from the cache or fetch from the network. This is where the magic happens. We'll then move on to the client-side code for requesting notification permission and handling the subscription logic. Are you ready? Let's jump into VS Code and make it happen. We've come a long way. We've built a functional progressive web app with Next.js. We have an installable app with a custom icon. It works offline thanks to our service worker, and it's capable of receiving push notifications. We've seen how Next.js 15 and its app rudder provide a modern and efficient foundation for these features. And we learned how to use Lighthouse to audit our work and ensure it's up to standard. The possibilities from here are endless. You can build more complex catching strategies, create rich, interactive notifications, or even implement background sync to allow users to perform actions offline that sync up when their connection is back. PWAs are the future of the web, and now you have the skills to start building that future. Thank you so much for joining me today in building this PWA from scratch. I hope you found this tutorial helpful and feel empowered to add these incredible features to your own projects. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel for more content on Next.js, web development, and modern tech. Don't forget to ring that notification bell so you don't miss the next video. If you have any questions or ideas for future topics, drop them in the comments below. I love hearing from you all. Thanks again for watching, and happy coding.